The angels online. The angels online. The angels. The angels. The angels online.
Good people, good people. 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 What's going on, y'all? This is Angel with the Angels Online, and we are back for another episode, season 4, episode 3, and we are talking about traveling. And we named this How Adventures Transform Our Lives. Traveling Tales, okay? So I got some people sitting here with me. I got one on the line right now. Cortez might be on there, but y'all know Cortez is calling in from New Orleans, so he's not here yet. But when he get in, I'm going to let you know who we got on the line.
It's Carlos. Hi.
It's Carlos. Hi. What's up, Carlos? Where are you talking to us
What's
from?
up? I'm calling in from Boston.
That's what I'm talking about. Carlos, where are you from?
Oh, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. Carlos from Puerto
I currently
Rico.
live in Washington.
You say that again, sir?
And I currently live in Washington.
Amen, Carlos. Thank you. Welcome to the Angels Online. Thank you for joining us. You are appreciated. We got across from me. Who we got across from me?
Got Eric Barsh here. Yeah, just me.
Goof Troop, huh? Where are you from, Eric?
From St. Louis, Missouri, hometown.
Who we got across from me? Next to me, I'm sorry.
I was looking at the Rams hat and I was like, wait, obviously by the Rams. I'm still a fan.
All day.
Brittany Barsh, St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, you got the same last
Same
name
last
as
name.
Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah, we married.
A little bit. Just a little bit, you know.
We got a couple on here. That's
About
gonna bring
6 years in this thing.
That's gonna bring some perspective. That's gonna bring some perspective. We got a married couple in the building, and to my left we got
Mike Gurney, single, lady, single.
Single.
Yeah, single.
Big single.
where you from, Mike?
I'm from St. Louis as well, the north side to be exact.
That's that lover boy voice.
4500 Margaretta.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
45 Retta Mob as a young boy.
Ladies and
Now
gentlemen,
we out here in these travel streets.
The quiet storm.
Travel Tales: How Adventures Transform Our Lives. All right, so Cortez, did you join yet? When Cortez joins, he'll just get on. Ethan will let us know. That is my engineer. Shout out to Ethan, y'all. That's my engineer here at Shock City Studios. Woo! I'm gonna start with
Hey, yo,
I love
energy,
the energy,
is
right? Like, I'm like,
unmatched.
woo, let me.
I straight feel like I'm on a morning show.
Right.
just here.
I'm telling, nah, you got it. This is
You got this.
Junior Oprah.
Exactly.
Brittany, who or what inspired you to start traveling, and how did that first trip impact your perspective on
That's a
life?
good question.
Oh, that is a really good question. I don't want it to sound cliche because
Mhm.
Eric's here, but Eric was honestly like the first person who really introduced me to travel.
Ooh, it's different over here.
Little
Check
different.
them out. Check them out.
Right. But you know, like my parents they have 5 kids. So, you know, like travel was something that we could do when we could afford it. So, you know, like the Ozark, stuff like that. And then as I got in college, like I would kind of dibble and dabble, like go little places when you're in college and, you know, you link up with your friends, certain places. But Eric was like, you know, a couple years into our relationship, he's like, hey, you want to go to Puerto Vallarta? And I was like, what's that? What's that?
Is that in
Like-
Europe?
Gotta broaden their eyes.
You know, and he was like, hey, you got to get your passport for this trip. So that was really like our first international trip together as a couple, my first as a individual.
Mhm.
And I think what was really cool about it was like we stayed at a place where like we were able to see what life was like outside of the resort.
Mhm.
And so it was like I was able to connect with people and able to see like, hey, this is how they thrive in their environment. Not everything looks like St. Louis or the US for that matter of fact.
Mhm.
So I think, you know, that really started like the drive and like the desire to want to go places and to want to see more things. And I think, you know, depending on where you go, it teaches you to be more appreciative of what you
We're
have.
gonna get into that too.
So,
Come on.
You know, it was just super dope. And it's always a trip that like I've never forgotten. So, and I love tacos. So that's my thing. I love Mexican food.
Mhm.
So it was real homey. Like the people there were very loving. So I was just like, hey, we could do this again and again. And run it back.
And still doing it.
Still doing it.
Bruh won. He knew what he was doing.
So where are you starting?
Oh.
Cortez, are you in Zoom?
Good people.
Cortez, where you calling us from, Cortez?
I'm calling from New Orleans. I'm calling from Sunday Fun Day Brunch.
I know that's right. Come on. You got to give the people what they want. Woo! Where you from, Cortez?
Where am I from?
Yes, sir.
I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
Look at you. Traveling
East
already.
St. Louis, Missouri.
There it is.
You better tell them, Cortez. Boy, I tell you, that Jackson, I tell you. Hey, so Eric, we're gonna follow you with that same question. Who or what inspired you? Because you clearly made a difference when you got this woman in your life. You changed her life forever.
I say y'all are hilarious. But one thing that definitely got me like enticed to like want to travel a lot more was when I was actually starting off in college. I was in this organization called the National Society of Black Engineers. Shout out NSB.
Okay.
But one thing that they were really heavy on was traveling and also making sure that we put on good conferences and conventions for the area. So that's ranging from little kids all the way up to young adults in these different areas. So like Houston, New Orleans, just a bunch of different other cities in the region. So that really like got my senses going of like, hey, let's go out, let's travel, let's see the world, and let's make sure that you have a lens further than what you see in St. Louis. So,
ooh, come on, and that's what this episode is about, because I did something with some young people and I asked them where they would like to travel to, and it went from as simple as the art museum in St. Louis, where we would look at it and be like, man, it's down the street.
Right.
But then you have to think of the circumstances of some of these kids, and if their parents are taking the time to do something just as simple as that, and a lot of times that stuff's free.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then I had somebody that simply said they wanted to go wherever NBA Youngboy is from, because he just loves NBA Youngboy. He likes his lyrics. And this
I'm
kid,
thinking, where you from?
I don't remember. It's on the paper at home. I just keep the letters or whatever. I think NBA Youngboy is cool. And then I also had a young lady said I would love to visit Africa. And she was in the sixth grade at this time, and she said she wants to go to the motherland where her culture's from.
Oh, nice. That's awesome.
So that's a range of different things that I saw for something simple as art museum. And I even had these kids. They was like, "Oh man, I want to go to the Magic House." I'm like, "Wait, you ain't never been to Magic?" I'm looking at it like, "Man, you ain't never been to Magic House?" Yeah, I want to go to Magic House. But these simple things that these kids want to do. And so, again, that's what sparked this episode, because the kids choose my topics or whatever. So, Carlos, I'm going to go with you because you on the line, Mr. Puerto Rico. Who or what inspires you to start traveling, and how did that first trip impact your perspective on life?
Hi. Being from Puerto Rico, I always wanted to work in the States. I wanted to work abroad is what I meant. And I started taking internships in the States, where I met you at Disney, as well as ABC and other ABC TV and Verizon and other places.
Yes, sir.
But later, when I graduated and started life, my brother actually was making a very long trip, and he's like, "You want to come?" And I joined for part of it, but it was great. And ever since, I've been wanting to travel. So I think it's mostly because of my brother.
I love it. Good. Cortez, who or what inspires you to start traveling, and how did that first trip impact your perspective on life?
I would say my first trip away was in the 5th grade, Washington, D.C. in elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
And from that, I just wanted to see more of the world. We were reading about certain countries, certain cities, and, studying about it. And it's like, well, why can't I go there and see? So Washington, D.C. was my first trip that inspired me to want to keep going. And I remember that summer between middle school and high school, I actually went abroad for the entire summer. So I went to Prague, the Czech Republic, Morocco, Africa, Tangier, Barcelona. And I would say that trip really impacted me to really, make me want to continue to get stamps on my passport, which I do today. Just seeing other cultures, seeing how other people live, seeing how other people live, eating their food. And I will say though, in that trip though, from middle school to high school in Europe, my palate wasn't, open to trying new things. So pretty much every restaurant we went to, I would get anything that was chicken based, chicken, because I just didn't know. And I wasn't, I wasn't open, to trying those new things. But now, like, I would say that kind of sparked my interest in abroad traveling, where now I don't mind trying things. I may like it, I may not like it, but I'm open to trying things. I'm open to seeing, of course, cultures, how people live, how people work. And just also sometimes it really kind of puts things into perspective on how fortunate and blessed we are, and I am, to be able to do certain things, because what we may think is bad is great to somebody who's overseas. So it really just kind of puts things into perspective for me. And I always look for my next destination, as some of y'all may know.
We know your business.
You on passport number what? What passport are you on? You run out of pages.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Mike, who or what inspired you to start traveling? What's your memorable, your impact, your first trip? How you perspective?
So I think I kind of started traveling unique kind of way. I grew up I was born in St. Louis, but I lived in Atlanta, so I used to fly back and forth all the time, and I was flying by myself. So, you know what I mean? Traveling wasn't, like, I probably had more frequent flyer miles as a child than, most businessmen today. So, so that
you had the VIP services going through the airport. Okay, with the escort, I got you.
Yeah. Right. TSA Platinum member. Pre-check, you know what I'm saying? Global Ranch, you got all that. But
no flexing.
Yeah, not at all. But my parents did a great job of exposing me to things. I had a passport. I think I was 14. I got my first passport. So I went to Mexico, got to travel, see the world. We always did the big Disney. We always did at least like one big family trip. So, when I got kids, I had to do that myself. So I always travel with my kids, but then I like to, take a FTK trip or two. You know what I mean? And, do my thing. So
I love a FTK trip.
I got to get at least, 6-7 trips in a year. And then a lot of it, like what Cortez saying, like, food was big for me, and then like animals. I like to see different animals where I go. Okay. Things we can't see. I'm cool, like, feeding some monkeys or something, like I'm all for whatever. But then like when I go travel, I want to eat, but I don't want to eat with the
norm.
I don't want to eat with the
locals.
I want the local stuff. You know what I'm saying? Take me in.
You don't want the resort food.
I don't want. I mean, I will eat a burger. You know what I'm saying? I eat a cheeseburger in Mexico, but I still want some, authentic Oaxacan, what the cheese is, my man. You know what I'm saying?
Carlos, what is that?
What?
What's Oaxacan?
Oaxacan, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Carlos know, he from Puerto Rico, but he know about that Oaxacan food. He know.
I really don't.
It's Mexican. Somebody gonna tap in, man. I thought I was with some travelers. I see.
Hold on, let's Google it.
I'm not. Yeah, Oaxacan. It start with an O though.
Yeah, I know.
It's O-X. No, for real.
How you say it, Carlos?
Oaxaca.
Oh, Oaxaca.
See?
Oh, that's the thing. Okay, I need to get my life.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell y'all. That food fire. I don't know what I had, but I was like, boy, what this here? Boy, give me 2 more.
Now I want to Google it.
I'm telling you.
So anybody can answer in any order, Can you share a memorable travel experience that significantly changed your outlook or personal growth?
Absolutely.
Come on.
I'll go first. So, my 30th birthday was my first solo trip. And I feel like I missed out on so many experiences waiting on people. You know what I'm saying? The trip, never making out the group chat. Like, I done planned so much stuff that I never did just because people flaked on me. So my 30th, It was kind of last minute. Everybody flaked on me. I went to Vegas, which is one of my favorite spots. I love Vegas. And I legit did whatever I wanted to do on the trip. Like, I ain't have to check in with nobody. I ain't waiting on nobody. Like, I had dinner with people I never thought I would have dinner with. Like, I met somebody new everywhere I went. And I was just like, yo, this is the way to go. Like, I can solo travel all the time. So
you were by yourself?
Completely solo.
Okay.
Didn't know nobody, nothing. And I'm just like, man, I can solo travel all the time. And it was cheaper. I'm like, yo.
Oh yeah.
I don't gotta pay for nobody. Oh yeah, nah. Just one dinner for one, please. Thank you.
Right.
I ate at Wolfgang Puck restaurant. The first time I ever cut a steak with a spoon. Like, I ain't never had no
That
wagyu.
tender.
You know what I'm saying? I was in that mother. I was in a restaurant where you supposed to dress up, right? I got on a Nike sweatsuit. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't even let me in. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get a steak, man. Come on. It was like princes and shawls and all type of stuff in there. Man, I got in there. I was like, yo, this right here. I think I spent like $220 on dinner. It was just me. And I was like, man, I do this 3 times a week. This is amazing.
Yes.
So that changed my whole outlook on traveling. Like, I'm never afraid to go somewhere by myself now. Like,
oh my God, I love that.
I'm gonna jump outside.
Yes. Who want to go next? I love that.
Run. Can you repeat the question? I want to go next, but I want to make sure I hit it.
Yes, sir. Can you share a memorable travel experience that significantly changed your outlook or personal growth?
Right. So I think I want to talk about the outlook. When I went to Tanzania and Uganda, I used to do missionary work, and I would interact with people there. And I'm always talking about computers and technology and whatnot. And I was telling them, why don't you go to Best Buy? And they're like, we don't have Best Buy here. I'm like, what? And then, what do you have? Is there a store? It's like, no. And when I went to visit, I noticed there was like some stores, but it wasn't the same. And what I wanted to get to is that usually when you start traveling, you start getting perspective that not every country is set up the same way. Like when I went to Sydney, let's say in Australia, there was a place that was the CBD, the Central Business District, and that's where people did everything. But there's no such thing that I saw that it was something like a Costco or a Walmart. Like, we have stuff that are done a specific way, but when you go to other countries, you start seeing how they live, how they work, what are the laws, the expectations. Let's say I went to Osaka, Japan, and I got a haircut. And I was talking to the person who was talking to me, like with Google Translate. He was doing my haircut. And I'm like, I want this haircut. And he's like, what? And then I showed him, it was like a fade. And he said, like, oh, fade, oh, koto. And I don't know, it was just like, it changes the perspective of how the countries are built, how you access things, how health is regulated. And I don't know, it just makes me now not just assume that what I know because of what I learned as I grew up it has to be that way. There's tons of ways to do things, and countries do a lot of things different ways. So yeah, I think I'm just thinking about the bigger picture of how things work. That's what my brain targeted. Yeah.
That's crucial because we're talking about traveling, but that applies to life with kids right now.
Yeah.
Outside of your household, there are ways that people do things based on their experience and their circumstances. So that's something for kids. You can tie that with kids as well. That's a perfect example. But Carlos, you also just let us know that you've been all over the world. Okay, you just told us you've been in Osaka.
This year.
That was a subtle flex.
Sorry?
Subtle flex.
That was a subtle flex. You just told us real good. Yeah, I'd been out here, and this time I was in Black Sydney. In like Osaka, Japan, and like okay. Well, you get your haircut, so you outside, Carlos. It's as simple as that. You outside. Yeah. I love it. Thank you for
this year has been like a very good blessing. Like I'm currently fun employed with an F at the beginning. Fun employed.
I love that.
So I've been able to go this year to Sydney, to Australia, to Argentina, Uruguay,
Barcelona,
Japan, St. Louis. Bunch of places in the States, and Hong Kong. And I'm like, I want to go to Thailand maybe next month. Who knows? But I was excited for the episode about traveling because it's just been so fun. Yeah.
And you talking to us from Boston.
I'm from Boston, yeah.
But you live in Washington. You know what?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about, Carlos. You better be great. You better talk to the people. And you from Puerto Rico.
Oh, wait.
What kind of job he got? He said that's a lot. He talking about fun employment. What is y'all hiring? I know. That's what I'm
He
saying.
said, "Send me the rec."
Yeah, I need whatever he doing. I need to do that too.
Said, "I want
Yeah.
What?
I have my brothers that they work in the hotels industry and the airline industry, so it's easy for me to travel or cheaper, let's say.
Bro,
That's
you the
dope.
plug.
You got
That's
the
how I
connect.
can do it.
Okay.
It's always good to know people.
Yes.
Yes.
Carlo also runs my website, everyone, for the Angels Online.
Oh, nice.
So he's wonderful. He's top tier. Anybody else want to answer that? You got a memorable travel experience or something that changed your outlook, Brittany?
She already hit it with the first one.
You did.
I did, but so I know, like,
that
I
got
know
her
we
married.
talking international, whatever. There was a couple other things that led to the wedding. Okay, but honestly, so a memorable trip, but it's actually in the States, and Cortez was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't even remember how old I was turning, but my birthday aligns with Mardi Gras in New Orleans. And I was just like, we gotta go. And Cortez was like, bring your behind on down, like whatever. And so like me and a couple girlfriends went down, my god sister, like, and he had some friends, and like we were all, his house was like a Z house. So like we were all in there. But for me, it was actually at a time where like I had just had my daughter. I wouldn't say like I was going through postpartum because she was about a year and a half. Not that postpartum has any time limit at all, but I was still finding myself. And I was still like, as a young mother, like, am I making the right decisions? Am I like, I still want to go out and kick it and have fun, but like I need to like buckle down because I'm a mom, like things like that. And so I was kind of at a point where like I was mentally like just kind of questioning myself. And just to be in that trip and be surrounded by family and like we're kicking it, we having a good time. Like I don't even think anybody knew that I was going through something, but it was just like to get like that
Definitely
love.
didn't know.
I know. I love you. But to just get that love back and to just feel it back and to like, and then you're in New Orleans where you're surrounded by your people. Like that is such a Black city and I love that for it. But like the culture down there is rich and you don't feel like you run into anybody who feels like a stranger. So it was just really good. Like it was really like, it like kind of like woke me up a little bit. Like, girl, you got this,
That's
and
that
so you
personal
come back
growth.
home and you just like, okay, I got this, But now New Orleans, like that's near and dear to me because, and like Cortez said, like he didn't know, but for me, that was just a turning point for me of just like, okay, you got adulthood. Like adulthood's not gonna have you. You got this. So,
come on,
that's my baby. I love New Orleans.
Come on,
can't wait to go back.
Now look at you.
Now look at me.
Adulthood has settled in on baby number 2.
Right.
That baby number 2.
We done.
No mas, as Carlos was saying. No mas para mí.
No mas.
He's a sweetie though.
Anything for you, Cortez?
Remind me of the question.
Memorable travel experience that changed your outlook or personal growth?
A memorable trip. So I would say it was actually that same trip that I took to Europe. One of the experiences I remember, I went with some of my mom's friends. Of course, they were, all older. And so I was hungry. And they were like, well, you got money, you can go out and, grab some food or whatever. And I was like, y'all want me to go by myself? I'm in this foreign country. I mean, yeah, I can count the money. I can, convert it. But y'all want me to go? Y'all sending me by myself? Like I'm like 12, 13. Y'all sending me in this foreign country by myself to go and get food. So I said, you know what? Whatever. So I went and there was like a hot dog stand, if you will, like you would see in New York, but we were in Germany at the time. And they actually called kind of like their hot dogs Rolik. I don't know, I still remember this. But I went to the Rolik stand and got some Rolik and got some bratwurst and some mustard and kind of all the fixings that go with it. And I, just kind of, hung out outside and, I was seeing some kids play soccer and I ate my food. And then I went to, after I left there, I went to the grocery store and picked up a few items. And I said, wow, I'm really just out in Europe, in this city, by myself. just acting like a local. I mean, because that's how they travel. They travel like local people. And but at first I was very scared. I was very timid. Kind of didn't believe in myself. But after I did those two things, I think that's kind of what sparked my interest to say, you know what? I can travel anywhere. I can do whatever I want to do. I can, not be afraid. Ask for help, ask other people, ask locals. And you'll be surprised how many local people they're willing to help and assist foreigners. And I would say that's probably one of the most memorable things that kind of changed my perspective on traveling. Is to not be afraid.
Listen, come on, talk to me. Eric, what's up?
I'll have to say one special one is actually when I went up to Toronto and I was like 29, something like that. Like right before I turned 30, I went up, and usually around my birthday, Caravana happens. So, disclaimer, I recommend any young Black single person in their 20s, young male, go to Caravana and experience that. It's the most fun you'll ever have. Participate.
20s, Eric. I think we all 30 and up. We a little late.
No, I'm just saying.
For the listeners, Cortez.
I'm talking to the listeners. Yes.
Okay.
I'm talking to the listeners.
Settle down.
I
got your back.
Cortez,
hey, man.
Get the people what they want.
We passed that stage, but yes, it's for the 20-year-olds. Definitely just an experience, man. I never knew how many cultures from the Caribbean and South America are actually in Toronto. So you have like Jamaicans, Trinis, you have Haitians, you have all those different cultures
Fijians.
up there, all that. So I actually, during that time at Caravana, I participated in what they call Play Mas, which is the part of the festival where, you dance and you actually dress up in costume and all that stuff. So
he was single at this time.
It was,
too.
yeah,
Let's just
I was.
caveat that.
So
let them know, cousin.
So, but that was actually one of the most memorable times I had on the trip, because it was like I got to interact with a lot of those cultures, talk with them, party, have a good time, and like just really get an aspect of people outside of the U.S. Like these people, they listen to the same type of music we do. They do the same type of things that we do, but it's just they live in, other countries. So it was just a great experience for me overall. So, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to go ahead and say, for me, it was when I did the National Student Exchange through Missouri State, and I lived in St. Thomas. I went to the University of Virgin Islands. And, over here, we fast-paced. Like, you moving, we got to get this, what I'm saying? Don't be late, da-da-da-da-da. I was out there, and it was just peace on earth.
Yes, they on their own time.
Everybody's so relaxed, no matter where you work, whatever. You just relax. And it's literally the island life, just a vibe. Who cares what the day of the week is?
Absolutely.
Go snorkeling. Who cares what the day? Yes, sir.
You traveled with them, right? I think I saw you playing.
Yes, I played. I played basketball. I started playing ball again out there. I tried out because I got hurt my freshman year playing basketball in Allen County in JUCO. I played for, so I started playing ball. So now I'm in Puerto Rico every other weekend.
Right.
So I'm playing in the Puerto Rico league because that's island, And so Carlos came to see me play and everything, and now we're traveling on a little private plane every other weekend over, 45 minutes to Puerto Rico to the island, and you just. I mean, it was just peace on earth, but you just see how they are, how they connect. Yeah, you have select people might have an attitude just like anywhere else. But it was just like the culture and how you guys had mentioned it, how grateful they are for their community. And how they work together. Like we're over here and they call us the mainland statesiders because we go over there privileged, right? Yep. They got to get their stuff exported in. Their stuff is more expensive over there. They thrive off cruise ships coming in. And all the economy and stuff like that. And you look at it, we looking like we're Walmart at, and all they got is a Kmart, and that's it. A rainbow. A rainbow is normal. We can go shopping at Rainbow. I mean, it's right here. Yeah. Amazon ain't popping all the way like that back then in 2010.
Right.
So you look at, they got a little KFC, a Hooters. Yeah. But you look at the locals. And then you have the Carnival. You know what I'm saying? Everybody coming together. It's real life. Yep. You like. Dang, I'm waking up to planes and I'm going to read on the beach in peace. You have people walking in class 15, 20 minutes late. Why? Because they're either coming from work or they got kids. You know what I'm saying? The teacher don't be like, oh, why you late? There's none of that.
Mhm.
We all adults here at the end of the day. You know, so that just was a whole different ball game out there. And I love St. Thomas. Like, you know, I'm from the Caribbean. I'm part of them. At this point. I got friends still over there, and I'm chocolate, so it's cool. It work out.
I think,
and I can speak Spanish. So you don't know if I'm from Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic.
I think like when we were you hit on something like that was really cool. Is that I don't think as a U.S. citizen we always realize that like there are countries that just thrive on tourism. Like when we were just in Aruba, they have nothing else. Like tourism is it. So, you know, like that's what's feeding their economy. That's what's, you know, them catering to people, them, you know, and I don't think that like when we went, it was like that island time. And I'm like, baby, we got a plane to catch.
Right.
You're about to make me like, I just want my coffee so I can get on the plane, you know, but it's like they have no worries, you know,
Island
and I'm sure that there are deeper worries that they have. Like, I'm sure that how do you make it from the day to day? But like, even after all that, like the things that we stress about, like the day to day of like, I got to rush here, rush there. Like they don't have that. No. And I think it's real cool to see.
But then when you realize you don't rush, you actually take pride in your work a lot more.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, it's like, prime example, we'll give them like, you know, $5 as a tip. And it's like, you change their world.
Yes.
And it's like,
it's a little thing.
Just $5, but it's like, you got to think outside of the
your
US.
own norm. Yeah.
So,
that's it.
Yeah.
That's
that $5 go a long way.
Okay. It's like,
I like going over there, man.
Yeah.
My next one is you mentioned it, so I was like, let me just go to that. Talk about traveling solo experience versus traveling with friends and family. How do you experiences differ? And you talked about it a little bit, but you said you prefer solo travel. I want other people to elaborate on it. You want to say something else about that first, though?
So I'll say this. A lot of people, and anybody I talk to about solo travel, I encourage them to just go. Like, just do it. Because the biggest thing is, like, getting over that fear of, like, being by yourself. And a lot of people, I'm a naturally outgoing person. So it's nothing for me to sit down in a restaurant and spark up a conversation.
Come on.
But a lot of people can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, especially here in St. Louis, when you travel, like you go south, like y'all spoke about New Orleans, which I've never been. You know, God willing, we gonna change that in January.
Yes, sir.
Amen. Amen. But like I know Atlanta, Alabama. I won't say Florida. Florida is unique because they rude down there. But like most southern states, like Tennessee,
Mississippi,
like oh my God, you know everybody, your grandma, your auntie,
right.
You know what I'm saying, big uncle, big cousin. Like if you tell them you not from there, like here in St. Louis. If I won't tell nobody I'm not from here because I feel like you make yourself a target. That's just the mentality
it's
here.
A local thing,
but when you go somewhere else, they like want to show you how great they city is and like they want you to come back. Like, you know, you tell somebody you're from St. Louis, you're gonna get robbed. Like it's just, you know, it's different.
I don't think that's true.
And so
I'm
here to tell you. I'm here to tell you.
About 75%.
But statistics show.
All St. Louis ain't bad.
Not all. But again, like he said,
look at the chart here.
about 83%. And then if you cross the bridge, the percentages go up.
Skyrocket.
Hey now, let's go
enormously.
Let's go easy. All right.
Listen, we are here for all events.
But that's the big thing. Like get outside, see different things. Like I got it circled on my list. When I get to New Orleans, I got to try some Yakiman. But nobody that I talk to from New Orleans, been to New Orleans, they don't know what I'm talking about. But there's some stuff I seen on the Travel Channel, and I'm like, I got to get Yakiman. They like, what you think? I ain't never had that. And I'm not like, well, when I go, I know I'm doing some different stuff.
Cortez, have you had Yakiman?
Yakiman, yes.
Well, there you go.
Aha.
Mike's coming in January, Cortez.
Okay.
So he will make sure you get Yakiman.
Yeah. I need some of that Yakiman, my boy.
Cortez gonna give you Yakiman and a suit, okay?
Okay.
Double package.
It's a package.
I'm with it.
Take measures, stay ready.
Listen, custom all day. I love solo traveling. For me, like I will literally just, I don't care because I feel like you said earlier, if you're waiting on people, there's a lot of things that you're gonna miss out on. It's a lot of opportunities you might miss out on. It's just like waiting on a job versus let me fill out 50 job applications.
Right.
You know, I want to travel and, you know, I spark a conversation, you know, and that person, maybe they don't know how to spark a conversation and you go influence them and teach them how to do it.
Right.
A lot of people waiting for somebody to talk to them and they sit at the bar. I got people who won't go eat by themselves. I promise you I'm not going to starve. I'm going to eat.
Not at all.
I will sit by myself all day.
And I'm going to order like somebody else here. here. Right. No, they coming.
Let me get 2 of those. I got a couple, you know.
I think that not to like damper the mood on the solo travel, but like I'm a person that I have not solo traveled outside of work.
Oh.
But I think I'm blessed. But I say this, I'm blessed with a bomb group of friends though.
Oh, yeah, come on.
That if I say like, hey, do y'all want to go here, and Eric knows like we got a couple group chats, and that's why I'm probably like on suspension right now for traveling. Because I will quickly drop like, hey, what y'all think about Toronto? What y'all think about this? What y'all think about that? Pick one. It's happening in February. And it's happening, right? Like our group chats make it out the group chat, our group trips make it out the group chat. And so the one thing and it's funny because when you had said like some people like to go with the people that they're going to talk to because they don't want to talk by themselves. So now I'm sitting here like, do I go on group trips because I don't want to talk to other people? I just want to talk to my friends. But
break that down.
But I will say like we're blessed with friends that are like, you know, everybody throws it out there like, hey, this is what I want to do. Like, if you got a friend who want to go get the Yakiman, like, hey, we all gonna go get the Yakiman. Or, you know, or if you want to do Trill on Wheels, like, you know, in Houston, we gonna do that. Or if you want to go do ATVs, you know, we're gonna do like whatever. Like, I think we try to find circles that's like they listen, so that it's not always just one person driving the group trip.
I think that's crucial because the versus traveling with friends and family. So it's the ones that's lucky enough to have a group trip. Like we can have a group. We be like, okay, we all going. You know, where you know people who don't make it out the group chat. Now it's like, okay, well we're gonna add Mike to us. We know Mike.
Right, yeah, like Mike about that life.
But I also, and I don't want to get us off topic. I'm sure it's probably one of the questions. But I also will say with the group trips, I've had some bad experiences with group trips too. Which have sparked my like, I'll just go solo.
Until you find that specific one that you can.
Certain people, I'll never travel with again. Like, and then like we cool, but we can't go out of town. Like our comfort level is different. You know,
different wavelengths.
I can't go out of town with somebody and they just want to go to McDonald's. Like like we can go to Applebee's, bruh. No, we're not going to Applebee's.
I can get it back at home.
We're not getting 2 for 25s.
Right, absolutely.
Ain't no 2 for 25s
now,
over here.
It's nothing wrong with that, but. Bruh, I know they got a New Orleans version of Applebee's. Let's go to that. Like they got something we don't have. Like
Cajun Kitchen or something.
You know what I'm saying? And then there's some people that just want chicken fingers and fries. Like I can't do that.
Another Carlos is a huge solo traveler. Carlo, tell us about solo traveling versus with friends and family. But I think you have good experience because he travels with his family as well. Right. So tell us about your experience and what the importance of solo travel also for you, Carlos.
So I wasn't afraid of, like, I mean, I think somebody earlier mentioned that being afraid of travel alone. I wasn't afraid of traveling in the States because because of the language, I would feel okay and I can manage. But my first solo trip was to Argentina this year. And it was great. I would wake up when I wanted. I would eat when I wanted. I didn't have to do planning or coordinating. But the thing is that it made me speak with people. And it was good to start, to meet other people and engage. And what happened was, versus traveling with family, it's like you're usually typically talking to your people. But when you're alone, you're more comfortable speaking to others naturally. At least that's what happens for me. And let's say I like to try to do local stuff. So in Japan, I went and I wanted to get a haircut. I saw a barber place. I just got in there and I got a haircut, and it was fun. An experience that probably if I was with my family, they would have been like, I don't want to wait for you, or I don't know. They wouldn't have engaged locally. So it's just it's been cool.
That's good.
And it was scarier in Japan because I don't have the language, but whatever. Google Translate, I use it and it helps me communicate. But it's been great. And in a month I'm planning on going to Thailand. And at first I invited my mom, and then I haven't told her, but I'm going to uninvite her.
She knows now.
So I can take a retreat. There's like this detox retreat and whatnot for health. And then if I go with her, I won't talk to other people, and that's not what I want to do. I want to meet other people, see what they're doing, what's their life experience.
Good.
And
I love it. We talked about this earlier. In what ways do you think travel fosters empathy and understanding of other cultures? And I think we've all hit on this. Cortez talked about it or whatever.
Just perspective.
Yes.
Just broaden your horizon.
And having a sense of respect for their area, their culture. When they thrive off tourism, the economy is what they get, you know, when they're not rushing and they show appreciation, when they don't. Carlos mentioned Best Buy, when they don't have a Best Buy, but yeah, they got this is a store we got, this is a store we love, we don't have a Best Buy, you know. And just being appreciative and, you know, understanding that, you know, and they might not have as much, you know, their jobs might not be
right.
like the US where they got this, you know what I'm saying. He went to the barber shop, he didn't expect a Rance, which is like a top barbershop here. It's like, you know, Rance.
Right.
He just walked in and was like, I'm gonna get a haircut from the logo, you know, and I'm just out here doing local things, because imagine if anything was to happen and he's stuck in Japan. You know what I mean? Like, now we ain't got all this.
Well, and to piggyback on that, with like traveling, especially traveling abroad, you gotta bring everything you need because you would get over there like, oh, I just go grab. Nah, ain't no just go grabbing nothing.
That was you at the barbershop.
Like, you can't go just grab nothing. Like, you like, oh, I could just go. No, you can't. And like for me, I'll travel like in the States. I just hop on a flight and won't pack a bag. Like I get dressed in the city.
Yep.
You can't do that traveling abroad.
No.
You legit have to plan and make sure you got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. Because you get over there, and especially for us, go over there without some lotion. And
not the lotion.
Boy, you gonna come back Crocodile Dundee, boy. Skin terrible. Like, just, you know.
Anybody else want to touch on that? What ways you think travel fosters empathy and understanding?
I want to comment on what you said that I mentioned earlier about Best Buy.
Yes, sir.
I also think that they don't have something that we're maybe used to, like Walmart, where you can find everything in a single store. It's not, at least when I compare it to my friends in Tanzania and Uganda, they don't have that kind of store. It's like it's a lot more small. And let's say I mentioned Best Buy because of technology. Like I would say, give me a picture of all the models that they have. Maybe they only have one to pick from. They don't have choices. So it's like it helped me gain perspective of how I would help them with tackle technology problems locally, with the perspective of how things are there locally. So that goes back to my engineer mind, that you need to understand the problems and where you're going to apply that solution, because maybe what works in the States may not work in Sydney or in Tanzania. It just gives perspective, and you know, it gives you it changes your assumptions, and you might want to double check assumptions in life. Yeah.
Hey man, I like this. Yeah, I like this dialogue, and I'm gonna take that because Mr. Software Engineer here is Tech Man. This is huge, actually, especially because kids need to know this. What roles does technology, Eric, I'm going to start with you. What role does technology play in your travel experience? Do you think it enhances or distracts you from the journey? Tell us, Eric. What do you need?
So when it comes to technology, I'll say I'm always blessed from the time I grew up. I'll say that because I got to see the beginning of technology, but then I also got to see the very end of us, you know, around our age group being outside and, you know, navigating the world without technology. I think nowadays some people are just too, what can I say, handcuffed to technology when they travel. Especially like, you know, what if you didn't have Google Translate? What if you didn't have, you know, some of these other apps that help you navigate through these countries? How would you navigate? So I think in my eyes, when I travel, I think I'm not necessarily dependent on technology. However, I just kind of make it an effort to kind of communicate, you know, just the old school way of like communicating with people in, you know, other countries. And, you know, if I can't understand what they're saying, then like usually at this time frame in the world, there's usually a lot of people who are, I'm trying to think of the word, bilingual. Yeah, they're bilingual. So it's like you're able to have that bridge or that connection with somebody to communicate with. So yeah, so usually tech is kind of like my last resort in a way, but yeah.
So it doesn't distract you from the journey. You use it when you really need it.
Right. And I'll add to this one thing that I really do not emphasize on when I go on trips, and it's crazy that I just realized this, I never really take photos or pictures or stuff like that when I'm on trips.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And,
You gonna
and
see me.
and it is because it's like
You
you
gonna
want
see
when
this
you go back
outfit.
home, you want to remember stuff like that. You
Yeah.
want to see the videos and stuff like that. But me
You also
myself,
live in a moment.
I'm always living in the moment,
Good.
always soaking in the experience
Mm-hmm.
because you never know when you're going to get it again.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
So,
What about you, Cortez? Technology what's the role technology play in your travel experiences? And does it distract you from the journey?
It doesn't distract me. Actually, it jump starts my travel.
It enhances. Okay.
Specifically, I like to use the United app, and it shows you a world map of of course the world, and based on your dates and kind of where you want to go, it'll show you ticket pricing, and that's generally how I decide where I'm going to go, when I'm going to go, based off of that piece of technology, starting at the beginning from the United Travel app. But when I'm there though, I'll take pictures or whatever, but I've learned to not necessarily post in the moment, because when I notice when I post in the moment, I find myself going back to check comments or respond to messages and things of that nature. So I've learned to kind of post after that moment, or wherever I may have been at that brunch or that museum or whatever the case may be. So I can really just take it in and not spend my time while I'm there responding to comments or checking DMs or things like that. But definitely, so that's kind of like one piece of it. Another piece of how I guess technology is kind of help abroad, translating. Some of these places I go, everybody doesn't speak English. So, being able to use Google Translate helps with, being able to communicate with the local people. Translating the menus in the restaurant, holding your phone to the menu and being able to hit the translate button, is another way that technology has helped me with traveling abroad. So yeah.
That's crucial because kids need to know that there's that option at some places, translate
Right.
a menu. I mean, a kid, they might be in a class and be like, well, how do we know that language? They're going to turn on the Angels Online and be like, listen, they said you can Google Translate, download Google Translate.
Right.
And that's why I do this. So when these kids got these questions, you know what I'm saying? They can find like a few answers. What about you, Mike?
Mine's pretty much the same. I never post in the moment. I wish I took more pictures, but I'm like literally like, especially if I'm outside the States, I never, because especially if you're not on a resort, the signal is never usually good. So like I don't even bring my phone a lot of times. Like I'm on an excursion or something, I had somebody else take the picture, send it to me when we get back to the resort. Like I don't have my phone. Like I just enjoy the moment, like have a good time, and let that be that.
Good. Carlos, you already told us, right? You want to add to it?
Yes, I wanted to say that maybe 10, 15 years ago, having technology and data wouldn't have been so easy. And moving around wouldn't have been as easy. But nowadays it's easier because you can buy eSIMs before you travel to a place, and it will be a lot cheaper than maybe it was in the past. So I usually have 2 or 3 phones with me. One that I geek out with because I scan networks, but then the third one I use it because I put the travel SIM card and turn it on as a hotspot.
Carlos, you
So that
two
we're gonna go with Carlos. Carlos is a real deal.
I got 2 phones.
Usually scammers have 2 phones.
Carlos
but
said you got one of these scanning networks.
Hey, Carlos.
So I have an app that's called Cell Mapper, and it like scans the towers that are in your area for mobile networks, and then it uploads it.
Carlos, you a scammer, bro.
yeah.
You ain't got no job.
I need you to break that down for me.
Yeah, bro.
Tommy,
Yeah,
that's
bro.
Tommy.
Carlos is the main deal right there.
You the
I need to
plug.
go. I want to.
But
You're the man.
I always need my international converters. I have like 2 or 3 always in my luggage because at any moment I could maybe switch somewhere. Like I was in Jacksonville visiting my aunt, and then my brother's like, "Do you want to go to Hong Kong for the weekend?" And I was ready because I had my stuff. So
Bro, you need a camera crew, bro. Somebody need to follow your life, bro. Like, what?
Yes.
That's how you can get paid.
Girl, send a picture.
Right.
I'm like, where you at today? Wait a minute. I'll tell you. Well, I just decided I was just going to go ahead and go to Tokyo and well, bring me back a shot glass for the collection, okay?
Get on this 18-hour flight.
Listen.
Right. People
That's
making
it.
life decisions, and you like, all right, like, I'm trying to figure
I'm thinking about
out.
what I'm gonna eat tonight.
Right.
You know what? It's a blessing. It's a blessing. I just got a few more questions.
Can I stop you real quick?
Go ahead, Ben. Please be great.
It's funny that nobody it's technology. Nobody mentioned like TikTok. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like when a lot of people and like, especially like now that I'm moonlighting like as a travel agent, I get people who send me like random TikToks like, hey, I want to go here and this is what I want to do, you know? And I think that one thing that's really cool, especially like as you're going to these countries, like a lot of people, and even like Cortez, like when he posts something, I'm like, oh, that looks so beautiful. Like, okay, I write it down. Like I have a list. But, you know, I think a lot of people too, like when they are going to other places, like they also look at TikTok. Like even if we're somewhere,
That's true. I see that.
yeah, like even when it's somewhere stateside, or even like when we've been out of the country, like actually, yeah, so both time or all times. But if I don't know where I want to eat, I'm like looking on TikTok. Like, let me find some good food in Aruba.
TikTok definitely influences, like a heavy influence on people who travel. But
Yeah.
I don't recommend TikTok because they did me dirty a couple times, so I ain't.
Well, see, I feel like it's also like, you know, you have to know how to scan it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I ain't read the comments though. You're right. I didn't
yeah,
read the
like
com-
you have to
I
read
was
the
looking at the picture like,
comments,
ooh, that
kinda
look
gotta
fire.
Yeah, you can't just
Bland.
solely rely on that. You got to take a couple steps till you get to the end
they
goal.
just want people to see it, so you got to be
Bruh,
careful.
Yeah,
I
but I
done
think-
got like that like 6 times. Multiple cities.
You know how like just back in the day, like we used to have like when we used to do research, like, you know, we used to go online and stuff. Like now it could just be as easy as just going on TikTok or going on social media and just flipping through it.
Jet travel
But-
or
Yeah.
But that's cool because even in this conversation of y'all talking, it's like you see the shift of technology.
Yeah.
You see the shift of, you know, what can I say? MapQuest to Apple Maps.
Oh.
You can see the shift from.
How old are we?
Hold on, you can see the shift from. You can shift from.
You talking now?
You can see the shift from Facebook when you only got invites to Facebook to Instagram.
That's
You
real.
see the shift from Yelp to what y'all talking about now with TikTok.
That's real.
So
That's real.
TikTok
It's
is
constantly
Yelp
moving.
now.
Yeah, it's
it
the new
definitely
Yelp.
is.
TikTok straight got me.
I'm sorry, I just didn't want to. I
No,
felt
no,
like
but that's
Now, that was good
that's
though.
good
That was
because
Good point. Yeah.
because sometimes what if you go somewhere and you be like, because sometimes what I'll do is I will send a video or something to somebody, whoever name pop up first, you know what I'm saying? And
Like,
be
what you think?
Just so I can save it too.
Oh, okay.
So when I get to wherever, I'm like, I know I sent that to Brittany. And you know, I purposely sent it, or I sent it to Kay and be like, oh, I'm gonna go back and see it. Like, cause this where we going. I remember, cause you go through so much, and I'm not finna be on social media like that. So it's like I see this real quick, and it's gotta be something that's for I don't.
Oh, we gotta learn. I gotta teach you how to like categorize it. You can categorize your
See,
saves.
I need
Yeah, there you go.
So those are
Help me too. I just got on TikTok.
You can do that?
You can.
What?
And it's like it's literally like New Orleans because we go like and then Chicago and then we got one for Aruba and then we got one for Mexico. Like I mean,
I didn't know about
have.
this.
That's scary.
But the reason why
That's scary.
So stepping into like
she got time on her hands.
I
She
don't. I really don't. I don't. Oh, I do.
That's another episode.
Okay.
Time with children.
But I do it because when my husband's sitting here, like I would be sending him like, oh, like because like you, I would be wanting like, okay, I don't want to forget it, so I would be sending it to him. He'd be like, what now? And I'd be like,
It's like, stop sending me all this.
Just saving
he'd
this.
be like, what do you think we do for a living? I'm like, well, I'm in marketing, you know. Oh.
Yeah, I need to get with Carlo.
Yeah, I know. I used to go work for
That's a
Carlos.
fact.
Carlos, if you got any marketing positions open, I am your girl.
I wanted to comment on TikTok. That's something I forgot that I do. So what I noticed that when traveling places, these local TikToks start popping up and things to do in the city that you're in. So before I go to a place now, I put on my VPN, which is a virtual private network, to like close to that city or country that I'm going to, and then I start getting local videos of what's happening in that country. You can see if there's like a festival that you didn't know of that's going to come up. and that way you can plan for it. So I haven't I didn't notice until this conversation of how much I do use TikTok for traveling. So
I love that you incorporate tech into everything.
So technology, so that goes with it. Technology plays a very big role in his experience, and not in a negative way. Because a lot of times when you hear technology, like young people hear technology, they just think, oh, social media, da. No, he's utilizing it for his travel experience. Or what Cortez was saying, no, I don't post things yet. You know what I'm saying? I'll wait till after. Like, I got a lot of cruise videos I haven't posted or whatever that I want to share so people can see that how dope the cruise can be and how the food can be and, you know, the experience. But, you know, you've never been on one, huh? Okay. But,
I'm with you.
The fear, okay.
So speaking to more of like a point of like, sometimes you can be selfish, but then sometimes you have to be unselfish for people to be knowledgeable in what they want to do, travel wise.
Yeah,
I think it's all about how you prioritize it. You know, if you and I think it comes with age. I think it comes with traveling multiple times. I think, you know, when you realize that you're spending all this money on a trip, and if you constantly just like this the whole time, and you never you miss it. And then it's when you come back home, you're like, dang, I kind of missed this trip. So maybe the next time you won't do it as much. And like Cortez said, you save your footage and you save whatever you're doing till you get home. Till you have that downtime that apparently I have, you know.
Yeah. Unless you're Carlos and you checking VPNs and you doing, you know what I'm saying? Carlos going to get all the clips.
I know. I feel like Carlos got a double life. He's Ocean 8.
And also from a safety standpoint, I just recommend people do not post until you get back home because people are just weird nowadays. That's all I can say.
Correct. And again, that's why, because your location, now they know that you over in Bali and it's creeps everywhere.
Yeah, it's good security.
Yep.
You know, so it's the safety and security.
Back home too.
Yes. Even here. You know, because, you know, you can post 4 hours later and put that you there, but really you at home. You know what I'm saying? Which is what I prefer to do or whatever, because I don't need you pulling up and, you know, I don't, no, we don't need that. If I want you to know, I'm going to send you a text and say, come over here, we are ready.
I know. And this may be kind of weird. It's like when you post after the fact and people are like, oh, you here? So I'm about to pull up. No, that was actually last week. I'm not there right now.
Sorry to bust your bubble, pal.
Sorry you missed it.
Content the footage is giving though. That's all.
Right.
Lord Jesus. This is a good group, guys.
Oh my God.
Good people. That's what we are.
Yes.
Giving these kids what they want, giving them information, giving them perspective, experiences in different fields also. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what advice would you give young travelers who may be hesitant to explore the world due to fear or uncertainty?
Start small.
Anybody. Yeah.
I think, what is it? You'll miss 100% of the shots that you never take.
Yeah.
You know, and just start small. You know, I talked about how growing up, like, my family wasn't able to prioritize trips. Like, they prioritized education, you know, whatever. But I think, like, once you start, like, and you start small and you start what you're comfortable with, and, like, then you'll just, like, let that desire naturally build up. And then, like, it's almost like when, I think Cortez had said it, like, you have to believe in yourself. Yes. You have to believe that you got this. You have to believe that you can go. And then also, as it comes to money, like, we're not going to act like finances don't play a part in that, in what you choose to go to, you know. And if you're seeing, you know, hey, my friend's in Bali, but if you don't have Bali money, you know, maybe you need to pull back and maybe you need to see, like, hey, is there something in Mexico that I could do that's similar? Or is there something, you know, if I was to go to DR or Puerto Rico, you know, like, really, like, live within your means so that way you're truly enjoying yourself on the trip. But just start small, you know, just start. And I think that that's the thing. A lot of people don't do it because they think about the factors of how hard it may be, whether it's financially, whether it's, you know, just them as a person, if they don't feel comfortable, you know, engaging with other people or whatever. It's really just, you got to do what you got to do to get your feet wet.
I guess just to piggyback off of what Bridget said, I think definitely do your research, do your due diligence, because you can always find trips that are extremely cheap. Depending on the time of the year.
Get your travel agent.
Yeah, that's it. But you know, definitely do your research because, prime example, you may find a trip that's usually $2,000 a person to go to DR, but then this certain time of the year it may be $850 per person. Yep. So it's like, you know, do your due diligence, research, and you can get some great deals out there because a lot of these places aren't like high occupancy all the time throughout the year. And they thrive off of, once again, like we said, tourism. So they need, the money and, just find a great price that works in your favor.
One thing I was going to say was, because Cortez mentioned earlier, he uses United. Boom. I mean, I knew about it, but maybe our listeners didn't know that United does that.
Mm-hmm.
Connect with people that are traveling. If you're looking for a travel group, boom, Mike. Oh man, Mike knows a travel group. Now you have somebody who knows a travel group and who also can point you into how he finds his flights and whatever, and how it might be cheaper at this time, Oh, okay. Angel goes on cruises. Okay, hurricane season is usually cheaper. That doesn't mean you're gonna be caught in a hurricane. I've been on 9 cruises, so it's like, oh, okay, no problem. So this is a good time to travel or whatever. Okay, and it's cheaper. Oh, okay, yeah. If you're looking for this and flights. Oh yeah, you can get a quick flight over there for this month. Catch that sale. It's $20. And if you got 5 people traveling with you, they fly the same price on Frontier. It's like simple things like that. That makes you have to connect with people. That's another thing you got to connect with people.
Yep.
And I think one of the things and why I wanted to get into becoming a travel agent, and I really I really moonlight as it, right? But one of the things is that you can actually put yourself on a payment plan. So let's say you want to go somewhere and it's $5,000. And if you just put yourself on a payment plan, it becomes more affordable. And I don't think that people, I do think that there are some travel agents out there that do suck. Like, trust me, I believe that 100%. But I think it's even like you said, just knowing people and knowing who to start those conversations with and how to go. Because I do think that once you figure it out on your own, you can definitely break away, from a travel agent. Because it's like, oh, okay, I feel comfortable doing this. I know how to find my own deals, stuff like that. But, it definitely, there's multiple ways of paying.
Oh, yeah. And then if you're looking for something, if you notice, you can count that as a bill. So instead of you going out to that Applebee's for 2 for $25, take that $25 and put it towards that trip, that dream trip,
that experience.
Take it towards that experience, that love, and something that you will have. You know what I mean? Yes. And I think that's just super crucial to me.
Yeah, and it's also understanding that the international trips, they're bomb. But the local trips can be just as amazing.
Oh my God.
And just as fulfilling.
Local food that you haven't tried versus going to a McDonald's or a Wendy's, or that go to that mom and pop diner that's been there for a long time. It's probably still there because it's really good. Or, they pass the safety test. Everything is good. Their sanitation, and that's why a lot of small towns keep a lot of places that they have, and a lot of people still want to go eat there because it's good. And, they probably give back to the community and stuff like that. And all, it's a lot of things that you look at, and that's something that for kids to realize that a lot of intricates come into traveling. There's a lot. It ain't just, I'm going to go.
Nah, it's a lot of moving pieces. And I would say everything that y'all said, all gems. And I know we probably ran out of time. I'm going to talk real quick, a quick story. So my first group trip, right? So I went on a trip with one of my exes. And
one of my exes.
And we on and off again, you know what I mean? So we're supposed to go, not supposed to go. So by the time I decided I'm going, we broke up, like, I don't care, whatever. So I waited too late to get the tickets. Tickets super high, right? So we going to Cabo. So I found a flight to Cabo from Vegas for $100.
Boom.
Right?
You can get to Vegas.
But it was a day before the trip started, right? But then I found a flight to Vegas from St. Louis for $20.
Dirty.
Right? Yep. So I had a free room at Bally's. Boom. There go my room right there.
Yep.
So, and then my layover was like 18 hours. So it really wasn't even like no full day. So I stayed in Vegas, got something to eat, boom, flew to Cabo. But because I went a day earlier, I had to get an Airbnb, right? Got a little Airbnb, stayed off the strip, like did the non-tourist things, right? Met some people. So when I go to the resort, I already met a dude that did the excursions. They charge excursions like $150 per excursion. We did horseback riding and ATV riding for $75. And because I got some people with me, I was for the free ski. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now I got a plug in Cabo. My boy Pablo. Shout out to Pablo.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So he do the ATVs, the horse ride, all that stuff. But because I did that, now when I travel, I always go a day earlier. Like when I do the group trip, I go a day earlier, get the lay of the land, meet some locals. You know what I'm saying? And I get the plug. This year we was in Costa Rica. Had the plug on the horseback riding. We didn't have a big yacht party this year, so I found a yacht. Did my own little private yacht party, about 30 people, you know what I'm saying? Cool, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't really spend no bread.
Correct.
You know
Because
what I'm
you bringing
saying?
people together.
Like,
You finding the people. You giving them business.
It's all about connections, young
And
people.
what
It's
we
all about
say.
connections.
Yes,
That's a fact.
that is huge.
So, you know what I'm saying?
You know what? You said you mentioned how you flew or whatever. I was going to LA from St. Louis, and sometimes that price can be high.
Crazy.
400 minimum.
So check this out. Me being me,
Mm-hmm.
I said, let me see. Frontier had a flight for $20
On
to go to Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vegas down the street from LA. Southwest had a flight for $46.
Southwest
Southwest had a flight for $46.
Don't play with me.
Still put up on the Southwest plane.
Pulled
They
up,
just didn't know where
look
you came from.
Okay,
I'm
Southwest
here.
gonna take me to LA. Now I'm in LA. Now I just paid under $70, but
Yeah.
and guess what? I'm gonna tell whoever coming now. I tell my wife, bring my luggage. I'm traveling with a backpack.
I can't bring no luggage with me though.
telling you.
And I had a free room.
You winning.
At the Golden Nugget.
You winning.
For 2 nights, but I said I don't need it for one, but you can keep it on there for 2.
That's cool. That's a win.
Got that Uber and I was gone. And that's how you travel. You man, look here.
You
You gotta find what works for you.
learn
Them
how
the
to
best
maneuver.
trips. Them the best trips.
You gotta
Like,
learn.
And I fly by
Can't do that with no
myself in a
kids though.
minute.
Actually,
True.
so
Yeah.
so
Oh my God, I'll be
got
nervous.
quick
kids.
story.
Yep.
Another ex. I'm a serial stepdaddy guy, right? So look, I'm dating this girl. She like her and her kids never been on a plane. Well, her kids haven't. She been on a plane. I'm like, okay, it's cool. Frontier, right? I take my kids to the Pro Bowl every year, right? If you in the Den Deals, right? Frontier Club.
Up to 6
If you in the
travel
Den
with you.
Deals, right?
Same price.
You can get 6, but they also have kids fly free. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Check me out. Watch this.
Come on,
This
tell
is
them.
where being
7
bougie does not
tickets.
help.
7 tickets
Tell 'em.
to Orlando.
Tell them.
$225.
Easy.
$225 round trip.
Where your
Round
luggage?
Round trip. Watch this. We got dressed in Orlando.
Come on.
Right? You can take a personal. Everybody bring some drawers and some little stuff.
Yep.
Go to the night. You gonna shop anyway.
Yep.
Go to the Nike outlet. Now we do gotta check on the way back. But we done bought the bags from Ross. You know what I'm saying? $150 Samsonite bag on clearance, $49.99. Oh, got him. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Then
I feel
then we got the Nike outlet.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So we got the Nike Techs, normally $200. You know what I'm saying? Got them for $80. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got it. Everybody gets one. All
Everybody
the kids, we
gets one.
matching.
You
You know what I'm
are
saying?
serious.
Yeah.
Everybody get a couple pairs of shoes. We send it back. Now we looking like we balling. Whole time we only done spent about the money you would spend on one normal plane ride.
Get them.
Yeah, that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's
That's
it.
what's up.
Set it off.
some light.
I'm trying to tell you.
Hey, man.
It's
Cortez, I feel convicted.
Look here.
Okay.
Where there's a will, there's a
Look
way.
here. What you
Everybody
got?
like you gonna be less
Look,
bougie next time.
Carlos, you got something quick for the kids?
Come again, sorry, the question?
Carlos was like, wait a minute. What advice would you give young travelers who are hesitant to travel or explore the world due to fear or uncertainty?
Do it.
I was about to say
you won't
that.
regret it.
Carlos says,
You
since we
won't
talking
regret
about
it.
Nike, just
You'll
do
learn
it.
so much. I think that what sparked my curiosity also was when I did the college program at Disney,
Mm-hmm.
that I met people from so many places that I started to visualize in the map
That's how we connected, Carlos.
where they are and how far can I go to go meet them. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just just do it. Don't take those risks, and you won't regret it ever.
Absolutely.
Man, and if you don't do it, what experience is that? I don't care if it's good or bad. Experience is what gets us where we need to be.
Yeah.
Cortez, what you got for us?
No, he got something.
What
I
advice,
would just say-
Cortez? Get a suit.
I would just say, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. I mean, there's so much more than outside of your local community. There's so much more outside of your state. There's so much more out of out of this country. Take the chance if you can. Don't be afraid. Get a passport. And to me, traveling is like another type of classroom, because you're learning about cultures, you're learning about the way, people operate in their everyday life. You're learning about kind of what hardships they may have gone through or kind of what successes they've gone through. So I would just say use it as a learning tool. Again, we're never too old to stop learning. We're never too old to be in a classroom. And I just kind of, I use my passport as my register.
I know that's right. Said it
I
all.
want to comment on what Cortez said that I forgot, but like that's an essential to have your passport. And this may not apply necessarily to kids or maybe to everybody, but when you're traveling, try to get a card, like credit card or something, or a debit card that does not have any international transaction fees.
Mm-hmm. That's another point. Yep.
Yeah, I personally use Charles Schwab, where you can open a checking account and they don't have any ATM fees or international transaction fees, and it's a debit card. So sometimes you need to get out cash. That's what I typically just transfer to that account and take money out. And there's tons of offers online for credit cards that may not have the transaction fees. Yep.
That's good information. Boy, I tell you what, season 4, episode 3, baby. Hey, we coming in hot. One thing I want to say is I appreciate y'all. We had a good team on here. I appreciate everybody. We gotta get out of here because we just way over time. We just out here like we ain't got nothing left to do in our lives.
But we had to give the people what they wanted.
Because I was gonna say it, Cortez, and we might as well start with Cortez. Cortez, give us a good people.
Good people.
Carlos, give me a good people.
Good people.
Come on, Mike, talk to me.
Good people.
Brett, talk to me.
Good people.
And there he is. Eric, come on, Barsh.
Good people.
And ladies and gentlemen, you know what I'm going to leave you with. Good people. You got to get a people what they want. Good people.